Hello and welcome to Jo-ttack on Titan. I'm Sam,
No, I'm Jim.
and welcome to is this movie gonna be Movie Monday?
Movie Monday. It's a sequel to Oviunday.
Is it gonna be Movie Monday? This is like the closest thing to a Sam pick because I've been bugging Jim to do this, and I do not regret this.
So what did we watch, Sam?
We watched the first live-action Attack on Titan movie, Part One.
Part 1. Yes, we did.
Oh boy, this was a treat.
I have to say it was a treat.
This is better than like almost all the OVAs that we watched because it's so more.
Unironically, yes, it felt quicker
Yes.
than most of the OVAs we watched.
We were like surprised we were an hour into this.
So,
this-
what did you think of this movie?
It's one of the things that's like is not good, but it gives you so much to talk about, and like it's so like just so wildly different from what we've seen that is like fascinating.
So this came out in 2015.
Yes.
I believe only season 1 was out at the time.
Maybe I'm not 100% sure.
It might have, because season 2 I think was 2017. I can look it up really quick.
Yeah,
Wait, Attack on Titan.
there's only like 3 IMDb. There's like one real trivia. I think. Let me.
Attack on Titan season 2 did start in 2017.
Oh,
So it went from April to June. Isn't that crazy? How short that season is.
yeah.
It's
So
just like a season, but whatever.
this movie had a 5 on IMDb out of 10.
Honestly, I feel like it's around that. For me, like the way I rate movies, like for me a 5 is like it doesn't do anything good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just like just boring. So this movie, honestly, it's not good. I would maybe say
No.
it's like a 3 out of a 10, realistically, but it's a fun watch.
It's a fun watch, especially coming into it, watching so much of it.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's insane. The effects range from like terrible to really good, in my opinion.
Yeah, some really cool practical like sets and everything. But
Some of the sets in the first part of the movie were actually really impressive.
yes,
The Titan effects, I thought mostly looked really good.
yeah, everything but the 3D maneuver gear, pretty much.
So yeah, my understanding of this movie was they had kind of like a little, almost like, what's the word for it? Like a test production where they did like a commercial for a Volvo or some shit, or was like
yeah,
it was like some car commercial. I think it was a Japanese car probably.
probably
And they had like the human titans, but they use like it's like tokusatsu. Like
yes.
it's actually
There's some sets and everything.
human actors but they use like
models,
they use models, they use like
suits,
trick photography and things to make it look bigger, and the effect works very well. I think like it looks goofy and
Yes,
cartoony.
but they do like the nose tighten in practical effects. They have this like beady little eye tighten. They do. It's
But
like,
that was before season 2 came out.
yes, it's
Presumably that the funny nose titan is in the manga, but like that's interesting.
yes. I'm trying to like so.
It feels very much like a response to season 1 of like what was known about the series at the time and like what people cared about. Like they say potato girl when they talk about
Yes,
Sasha.
little things, but so part 1. How much you guessed the box office of part 1?
Well, I heard you say it earlier.
Yeah, I told it was a combined. Well, there's a combined one. It had part 1 and 2 separately with their box offices.
You say 30 million for part 1?
Yes. How much do you think part 2 made?
12.
You're close. 15. I mean half the box office in the first one.
Well, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but we did see a teaser trailer for the second movie. As soon as the credits
Yes.
began rolling, they show a fucking. Presumably, I guess maybe this version of it just had that as part of it. Maybe it was already pre-made,
Yeesh.
and they just were teasing the second movie. But
So let's talk about the opening and how they changed the initial Colossal Titan attack.
well, even beyond that, the characters are like teenagers already.
Yes, they're already all like teenagers. They're
I made a comment we're watching because it's our main 3 characters: Mikasa, Armin, and Eren. And I said Mikasa looks like she is 30 years old and 9 years old at the same time because they give her like a child's costume,
and like
but she's an adult woman.
she's like also like acting like a child. It's kind of
Yeah,
where
it's
she's like
very
put that
weird.
free spirited kind of thing.
It goes without saying, but everyone is Japanese.
Yes.
All of the actors are Japanese.
Armin does machines. He literally just makes wacky like air horns and the
Not only
machines are also taboo.
So not only are machines taboo, they go into saying how machines are what caused the world to go to shit.
Yes.
And that is like why they're banned. So machines are banned, except they have like steampunk technology.
Yes.
The only like steampunk thing you could say in the original series are the 3D maneuver gear.
Yeah.
And that's not even really steampunk. It just has like compressed air. This is like real. What do you think of like steampunk vehicles? Like it is that. Like
We even see like electrical lines at 1.2.
they have cars. They have like really, well, they have like rudimentary cars.
Instead of,
Just they have motors.
And every wall is like one because like the walls are all named differently too. They are all like the second walls are like the industrial area, and then the innermost is still the rich area.
Yeah, they still like commerce. The outer wall they say is like the what's it called? Like the farming territory.
Yeah. Eren is still like that guy getting the fights, but he can't hold a job because he keeps fighting people.
So I have to say, it's really funny to make Eren a teenager because Eren's whole thing was like he's a rebellious child.
Yes.
And the second that he has a chance, he joins the military.
Yes.
Whereas this is like not that. Like he's not joining the military. He's just doing odd jobs around town, I guess. It just feels really weird.
They all work jobs. It seems, and like. Okay,
the scouts don't really exist as they do in the show, and
we get one glimpse of like the wall guards, and that's it. But no, there's the part where like they go find Eren, and he's like on. Jim saw the plane, but it turned out to be a missile. I was joking before they reveal the missile though. I this is gonna be the fake. Wow, Eren, this is the Fat Boy. It's called the Fat Boy is on it. Why is that written on it? And just like it was a missile though.
So I do want to say, we do get a little animated intro sequence that explains that the walls were built because there was a huge war on the outside.
Yeah.
And as we see, there's like very modern technology. Like there's like you said, this missile.
We see a missile, a helicopter.
There's a very modern looking helicopter. So the way I kind of interpret this was, I remember when season 1 first came out, my big theory was that Attack on Titan was set in like the far future where like, of course this is wrong, where society had like collapsed except for this one city, and that's why like people have like German names but they have like weird technology. That was my like theory, which was wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the idea that they went with here, where it's almost like this is a series set in the future, but because they're like stuck in the walls, they've got like weird old technology.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. And then they basically like this do thing. We're gonna go right onto the wall past this military checkpoint.
So yeah, there's a line Eren says where he's like, these guys, they don't even care about guarding the people. They're just guarding the wall. So they have to like slide through like barbed wire and stuff. And then it feels very like post-war.
Okay, also the wall design, not good.
Oh, it looks bad. It just looks like it's made of concrete.
Yeah, because they even show like the walls being made in like the animation. So like there's nothing about the walls mysteriously just always being there, and like the Titans being in the walls and everything.
Yeah, because in the series we learn like way later than when this was probably made.
Oh, the end of season 1.
Yeah, okay, we do know that there's Titans in the wall in season 1, but later in season 2 we learn that the walls are made out of the same material that like the hardened Titaning. So we didn't like that wasn't revealed quite yet, but whatever. This is like semantics.
But yes, and then they basically beat a bunch of guards, or Eren beats up a bunch of guards because this flying knee strike he just loves doing, and we have basically because like a lot of the characters we know have their names changed. Like,
or there's kind of like there's like composite characters where it's a few different characters combined to one.
So we're basically gonna be calling them by like what they're supposed to be representing. Essentially.
So Hannes, the blonde-haired guy from season 1.
Yes.
He's this new guy named Soda.
He's not a drunk yet.
Yeah, they make him more of like a Pixis. Yeah. And what's his face? Hannes character.
He kind of commands like the area that they're in right now.
Yeah, he's like part of the garrison, and he's like. He has like a history with Eren. He's like, "Hey,
I almost fucked your mom."
Yeah, I almost fucked your mom. But your dad stole her away from me. And then like,
which is someone else's backstory. But I guess it seemed like they were gonna combine that with what we got later on.
So before we get to the Colossal Titan part, do you want to explain the trauma scarf, Sam?
Oh boy, so
Eren has the scarf.
He has a scarf, but it's no longer a trauma scarf. Mikasa sneezed because it's cold out, because that's the Japanese, like, show you it's cold out. So he gives her the scarf because it's cold. So it's a cold scarf. So I will be referring the trauma scarf as a cold scarf for these movies.
It has no trauma connection. It was literally just Eren happened to be wearing a scarf that day and gave it to her.
On this fine spring day.
I wrote so many notes that are just crazy. Oh, you remember how their whole thing about, like, the sea? Like... Oh, the ocean.
Yeah, they figure out the sea because they wipe off the missile and it's like a hot lady like over the sea. And,
it's like a pinup. They see an image of the sea and on this pinup drawing.
Because they don't mention anything about Eren's parents, nor do we see like anything happen to his parents.
We just hear that his parents exist.
Yes. Nothing about Armin's like grandfather or the books that he has, I think.
The only time we see any of Armin's family is we see his dad get eaten by a Titan. Yeah. And Eren's like, isn't that Armin's dad?
It's a throwaway line.
Yeah.
And then Mikasa has no human trafficking related things to happen to her. No trauma scarf deserved.
It's strange. They're just teenage friends. They just don't care about anything like that. They just want to basically do like the hook of season 1. That's kind of the point of this movie is to do the season 1 hook.
The Cloud Titan appears. He actually looks pretty good. Like, they use the constant steam effect, so he kind of covers up a lot of him.
It actually isn't a terrible effect.
Yeah.
I have to say.
It looks better than what we got in, like, season 3.
So, it takes him fucking forever to kick a hole in the wall.
There's, like, four knees, and, like, we saw, like, okay, he's gonna, like, crack it, and then the Armor Titan's gonna be the one to finish up. But there's no Armor Titan. Just the Titans just come in, and they start wreaking havoc, where we see the effects for the first time of the normal Titans of actual actors.
So, I don't know... They definitely do some weird trickery because there's kind of one Titan they focus on in the beginning. This guy who has like humongous gap between his eyes, and it could be how this guy looks, but I'm like a lot of the Titans are like they do like the weird exaggeration with facial expressions like in the series.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Most of the Titans are. I'm just looking at a bunch of trivia about it. Trying to see. Like, most of the Titans are played by actors in makeup with some computer animated enhancements.
So there's a couple that are just very computer animated and they look very bad. I'll talk about the baby soon. Yeah. But I think honestly, like this scene where all of the Titans are like killing the people, I thought it looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
My problem is like
it's like when the 3D like, we're talking about it actually looks really good, but when we're worried about the 3D maneuver gear because we don't know that's gonna be like not good.
And it turned up being not very good. I think my biggest problem with this is like the colors are very bland. The Titans look like zombies.
It's very gray.
Yeah, it's very gray.
Like, the zombies don't have, or the Titans don't have the skin color, like the normal like fleshy peach color they always have.
Yeah, they're like they look kind of undead. They have a lot of like facial scarring. Because we see it happen a few times in the show when they open their mouths, they can like hyper open them, like they rip their cheeks.
I like the hyper opening jaw. I always like that.
I think it works sometimes. I think it works when it's like only happens when they actually open their mouth, because like the whole point of the Titan is that it looks so much like a human. Yeah. But the unsettling part is how it behaves and how it like eats you.
We're not at the most unsettling Titan yet, but we'll get there.
So
basically that happens. Basically Armin just fucks off at one point.
Yeah, it's really strange.
After they watch his father get eaten, Armin just fucks off. Mikasa and Eren are together. They stop to go help like 2 people, but Eren gets like sucked into a church, which would be Jim especially was like, this wouldn't be a good place to go. This is like what you do to go into the next layer of the walls, not like.
It's very strange. So, like how season 1 is set up, they have like the Shigan. Is it Shigansena or Trust? I always mix them up. Whatever. The first town that when baby Eren gets attacked. They have the wall set up so that it's like one of those the wall like cities that pokes out. So you have like 2 walls close to each other. So when the first part breaks down from Colossal Titan, everyone only has to evacuate the length of the city. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes an easy arc where it's like, okay, they just need to get to this place. But then of course we have Colossal Titan breakthrough or Armor Titan breaks through. So that adds like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But with this, it's just the wall. So once they break it, they don't have a scene where it's like, oh, we need to get to like the safe. We need to get to the gate. They don't have that. They just do it with a church.
They do like stupid like horror movie logic of just going to the least safe place. Yeah,
but then they're like, oh, we have to shut the door. It's like, why?
Because
the Titans aren't going to walk in.
Mikasa's stuck outside holding a baby. And Eren finally gets out of the church because everybody's like trying to keep it slow, but Eren just gets out anyway, and like it's the safest thing to do because the church gets destroyed but into a puddle of blood.
Yeah, we see everyone get eaten, and also Mikasa vanished.
Yes. Yeah,
the big twist in this movie is
they didn't grow up together.
Yeah, Mikasa
or they didn't train together.
Yeah, they like Eren like after this we jump forward 2 years.
2 years, and we skip the training. We skip them deciding on who to join. They're just in the scouts already.
Yeah, there's almost no like scouts. That's what we talked about earlier. Like they have the scouts insignia.
Yes.
But the person that leads the scouts is actually a military police guy.
Yeah, and they're all like
Forget his name.
evil Nazi.
They do
like,
have like
generals.
black stormtrooper costumes.
Yeah, have you seen any if you've seen what's it called, Inglorious Bastards? Like literally the lead villain of that one is like what they dress like.
Even like you mentioned it in our last one, but Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Like Neil Patrick Harris's character, he's like wearing like a black trench coat.
Yes, it's basically like that. Yeah, it's like they're at the camp. Hanji is here, named Han, because they still want to do the I guess the I'm not sure I can't tell you if it's the gender, but like it's clearly played by a woman, and instead of being like Hanji being this super competent super soldier that's like really attracted to Titans, it comes off as very goofy.
She's just like an idiot, and she flubs her like her maneuver gear, and it's like a funny little like scene.
Yes, so we get some flashes. We see some of the characters. We see Jean is one of them. With his eye patch dad,
who says "Avenge me," and he's like, I guess also he was like a warrior guy,
which is wrong because we all know if anything, Jean hates his mom.
Yeah, Jean hates his fucking mom.
We see Sasha is here.
Yeah, I don't remember what her gimmick was.
I don't think she was at the door, but we see her like in the cafeteria.
They do talk. They say here. Okay, there's a scene. It's very strange. Everyone's in like a fucking camp.
Yeah,
like
it's
cages.
weird. They're saying goodbyes. We see not Annie, and we see
the baby.
We see the couple, and we see the couple essentially.
Yeah, and then we see the big guy who was the axe leader.
I love the big guy. The better Connie.
Better Connie. So I think I meant to write Sasha, but I wrote Shasta.
Yeah, we're talking about the cafeteria scene, basically when Eren and Jean go like at each other's throats, essentially, like them standard stuff.
This is when we also see the Hannes character. He becomes like the drunk now.
He works as like a chef / like cleaner, but he eventually just joins with them as well. But Sasha's there. She's loves food. Sasha
loves to eat food. They call her Potato Girl. Yes. They say the words Potato Girl.
The one thing I did like, because Armin does. Okay, so this is the strategy they want to do. Is Armin's like, okay, we're gonna go get some explosives and use explosives to make the big hole around the wall to make a small, slightly like
They want to collapse the upper part of the wall
yes.
to hopefully fill the gap, which makes no sense because. Yes. If it would collapse, wouldn't that just make like a ramp for Titans to just walk over?
But the one thing I did like is Sasha's paying attention because Armin's doing it with mashed potatoes, and she's just like
he has like 4 pounds of mashed potatoes in front of him that he's creating this fake wall with.
Then Sasha just consumes this. Poor actress had to consume so many potatoes in this like movie.
She eats. It's like almost a joke. Like, what is a joke? But like it cuts to a character explaining something, then it cuts back to Sasha eating a heaping spoonful of potato, but it keeps doing it over and over again. She eats like 5 heaping spoonfuls. Like,
yeah.
Did we need to show this really?
So we have our cast, like our training group, I guess.
Yeah,
essentially.
Our little squad.
We do get. They reference like, oh, this commander guy is down over there already, and he's with this girl that the Angel of Death. They killed so many Titans,
and we're like, oh my god,
it's fucking Mikasa.
It's gonna be fucking Mikasa.
We're like, oh my god, this is gonna be fascinating.
Also, there's a very baffling in hindsight scene where there's a very menacing looking
oh my god, yeah,
scout recruit. Who I immediately, because my thought was, oh, is this gonna be like they're gonna do like the Reiner like Bertold character?
But he like disappears.
He literally gets eaten.
He does get eaten.
He just gets eaten unceremoniously, which honestly, good misdirect, I guess.
Unless with the misdirect that you didn't see him get, he just grabbed and taken out of the way. He could have just got away.
So yeah, as we said, their plan is to just blow up the wall. So we learn later that the guy who is training this hell bitch. Or whatever they call her.
The Angel of Death.
Thinking of Angel of Death. What I'm gonna say. I'm thinking of All You Need Is Kill. In that they call the girl they call her the heavy metal bitch. So I keep thinking.
Well, they get in their fucking heavily armored tanks, like vehicles as well.
Yes, they are literally like all like troop personnel carriers. Like
so. Also, the not Connie guy. Is like literally like, oh, you guys are from there too. I'm from I can't wait to get back on those lands. My little brothers and sisters like made me this little doll.
Seemed like a death flag, but
he lived.
He didn't die.
He does like the most like action for like a human character.
Yeah,
like he does so much work. It's actually incredible.
So
he puts Connie to shame.
It's true. So okay, there's like a long scene. This is kind of the worst part of the movie where they're like so they're traveling at night because this is a thing that
they
do like a lot of the Titan science of like they don't
don't
attack animals.
they don't like sound.
Yeah, they're attracted to human voices.
One thing, because they do get the vehicles to go scout, and they do the one really cool thing where they have like the lamps that are just fire. Like a really cool prop, which I really like.
A lot of the sets and like the props and stuff are cool. Like most of the costumes are good. I think some of some of the costumes are kind of bad.
I don't like because the wall guards are all like they're basically like military uniforms, just with like the signia like ironed on.
Yeah. I think like the main cast like scout uniforms did look pretty good.
Yes,
they look like good cosplay.
I agree. And it's weird. It's just the military police are just like the general guys.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they go to investigate, and Eren and not Annie go off.
Okay, so yeah, there's a girl who I was convinced was the Annie surrogate because she had Annie's exact haircut.
Which, yeah, 'cause Sasha has the exact same haircut. Hanji looks exactly like
Hanji's name is Hans in this. That's why it's confusing.
Yes, a lot of names are wrong.
Yeah, Hanji does have her exact haircut from the show.
I do have some trivia about that, but I want you to trivia at the end.
Okay. But so we kind of think that this is going to be an Annie character.
Yeah, seems like it.
And immediately they're pairing the cast off. So this Annie character, I'm going to call her Annie even though she's not.
Her name is like Hiana, which is like Hiana. I'm like, Annie's in that.
Annie?
Everything with the H is like Annie. I'm like, huh.
So she and Eren are like kind of being paired off romantically, which is hilarious.
Okay, yes, but okay. We'll go back to the other group. But yeah, they go off into this factory and they just have.
They hear a baby crying.
Yes.
So they're going to say, "Oh my god, we have to save the baby," and someone's like, "It's been 2 years since anyone's been back here. This is definitely not a baby."
And then they go off, and yeah, they have a fucking encounter with this horrifying, like, slit mouth baby Titan.
Yeah, it's literally like a newborn Titan baby.
It's so bizarre.
And it's maybe like, I don't know what, like 10 feet tall.
Yeah. It's very unsettling.
It's very creepy. The CGI is very bad, which makes it creepier, frankly.
It does the Kurt Cowley dog thing, where bad CGI makes it, like, creepier. But yeah, the baby like falls down, crying, and they run off. But also, before this, Sasha's like hungry because her stomach growls, and like Armin gives her like 2 rolls and
2 potatoes.
2 potatoes. I'm sorry, the potatoes look like
because she bites into it and it's
dark.
raw.
Yeah, it's very dark, so it's hard to see like is this bread or potato. And it's like I love how you always like take care of me. I'm like, they're gonna fuck by the end of this, aren't they?
They really set the seeds for a Sasha Armin romance.
And as we know, they can fuck in these movies.
They can fuck. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, also Sasha does just have her bow and arrow.
Yeah, she just defaultly has the bow,
which I'm frustrated with because we talked about this while watching it. But in the anime, she's the bow because that's the only thing she has when she's fighting.
And she was only fighting like an 8-foot tall Titan that was like she had shoot in the eyes. And
then she continues to use the bow because they're fighting humans.
Yes.
A bow would be the worst weapon against Titans, especially large ones. Like, it makes sense that, like, shooting an arrow at, like, a small Titan's eye would blind it, but, like...
I mean, there's one point where she just shoots, like, all the arrows at an arm of, like, a Titan and does nothing.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna, like, lead to something, but it didn't. It was just bad.
But no, yeah, also, so they come back to the group and, like, there's a bunch of Titans that's chasing after them now.
This is the first big like the first big action scene we see where they use the 3D gear.
So yeah, the 3D looks bad. We talked about that. But the fucking best scene is when not Connie grabs the fucking Titan by the arm and just yeets him.
Yeah,
he yeets the fucking Titan.
He literally does lift the Titan. So we do see in season 2, Reiner does lift up a Titan, but it's a very small one. Like, as small as Titans get.
And we only had a throwaway line like, okay, they're lighter than you think they are. It's like the throwaway line.
Yeah, but in this, he's lifting like the equivalent of maybe like a 20-foot tall Titan.
Yes.
Insane that he could do this. Like, the Titan would need to weigh like 200 pounds.
Because me and you were like, okay, he must be like sacrificing himself now to die. But no, he just fucking yeets the Titan.
He saves whoever, I think it's like Eren or something.
He just saves the people of the group because he's part of the team. But then we get the MLG like killing machine, not Levi. The weirdest fucking character in this entire fucking movie.
Not Levi is a character. So I forget his real name, but we're gonna call him either Levi or not Levi. He is coded to be the Levi surrogate.
Yes, because he does do the germaphobe like handkerchiefs thing, and then
He's the best one with the swords. He's been out there for the longest time. He's like a captain or something.
Yes.
And yeah, he's the germaphobe. He even has the little like kind of handkerchief thing around his neck.
Ascot, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just like, first off,
Shikishima is like the character.
Shikishima. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. First off, why not just call him Levi? Second off, this becomes the worst character in the movie.
He is like, it made me say I hate this Levi, which is something I never thought I would say.
And I don't know if it's just he's that bad or if I'm just thinking of how good Levi is normally, and like he's losing points even harder.
There's no like Erwin have him bounce off of. Like he's just like this like weird like. He's antagonistic character, especially later on. He also
is like fucking Mikasa.
A weird groomer like creep. Like, so yeah, he arrives. He's badass. Mikasa's there. They're like Eren just has this stupid face like on him for the entire time, then just cuts away to like basically like in a factory, and they all like, talk about everything, and like, Mikasa, what the fuck? Why are you alive? And she's like, that baby died. Have you like, are we gonna have this story of like she just threw the baby to save herself? Because that would be fucking nuts if that was true.
Unfortunately they don't.
No, but she's an awesome ass like bite scar. Which
so
is, like,
she has like thing. On her side she has giant tooth marks, which is a very cool looking scar.
Yes, surprisingly.
It's funny because it's way better than her real scar, which is just from like a piece of rock that like hit her face at one moment.
Also they go to the factory, they get the explosives, and they're like, oh, where's the explosives? And then they go find like a fucking basement full of explosives, and like, Jim, we found the basement.
Levi was literally keeping all their explosives in the basement.
Sure.
I don't know why he was guarding the explosives. Titans wouldn't fucking steal explosives.
But
I guess bandits would.
I guess, but bandits wouldn't be in this fucking...
But okay, we never got this resolved. Who was the person with the mask?
The Colossal Titan, probably? Or the Armor Titan? Or the Armored Female Titan that we've seen in the previews?
I guess it was probably the Colossal Titan. Whatever. There is a person who does steal, so...
That's later on.
That's later, but so there's one character we keep seeing who's like in a hood, and later they have like a weird like sash mask on.
We kind of saw in like the very beginning of the movie, but it was like an old man or something. It looked like, but
yeah, I don't know. But also, we get another scene in the middle of this where
basically Mikasa just fucks off. She just said like, "Fuck you, Eren." I'm like, I'm a different person now because she doesn't have the scarf on.
She doesn't.
And
she doesn't have her trauma scarf.
Yeah, and then Eren basically just like has a discussion with that guy because he has a weird like hard on for Eren, like right away, because he just like eye fucks Eren for the entire.
He does.
But then he's like walking. Like,
Eren's like, please train me like Mikasa.
And then it's a weird thing because he's like bouncing like over a puddle. And, like Levi would never, like for a germaphobe, would never like do this.
So yeah, at first we're like, okay, well they're not doing like the germaphobe thing. But then like in that scene, he like takes out a handkerchief to like touch Eren's hand. So rather than just touch his hand with his hand, he will only grab it like through a cloth.
As we see later, where like he hands Mikasa the apple with the handkerchief, and then takes it out the apple back with his hand, not in a handkerchief.
It's just like. It's really strange and bad, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's worst part of the movie.
So basically, yeah, he just tries to give Eren, like, advice, I guess.
So really quick, we get a couple little, like, mini scenes that are like in the show. We have a Jean and Eren fight.
Again.
Jean also calls him a suicidal maniac.
Jean has none of his character development in this at all. Is Jean without any character development?
Yeah, he doesn't have it. The first time we see Jean, he's like actually way more aggressive than he ever is. He calls everyone losers and like
he was not this antagonistic like
he was just like a selfish asshole.
He just hated Eren. He didn't like mind like he find everybody like an idiot, but like he didn't like actively like go away to like make an enemy of everybody. He's like, you are all crazy people essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get to know them.
We also this is where we find out that they have outlawed machines. So,
yeah, because
so another Sasha Armin like romance scene.
Yeah.
And Sasha drops a potato, and it's funny because the commander guy steps on it.
It's a very equivalent of like the training scene essentially of like her instead of her eating the potato, she dropped it and she wants to get it back, but there's important people in front of her.
Yeah, but so we have Armin has to like. He reminds us, the audience,
about the taboo.
Yeah, that it's like taboo to make technology because
it caused
bad things.
It caused the war to happen.
which citation needed.
But yeah, and yeah, that moment happens, and then I guess it does cut away with like him and the Mikasa stuff again, where
So yeah, Mikasa is sadly playing the piano
yes,
in a very cheesy scene, and this is the Apple part. So
yes, this is a
it's just they redo the same scene again, basically.
it's just like Mikasa doesn't, it's not the same person. The not Levi is weird, and like she's like he basically kidnapped her and like trained her to be a killing machine, like brainwashed her,
which is like honestly more interesting.
It is. It's fascinating.
So I wanted to talk about this. So what happens right after the scene, just like to cap the scene off, Eren is like distraught. He goes outside and screams.
Yes.
He literally screams.
Yeah,
He's so upset that Mikasa doesn't know him or doesn't care about him anymore.
That and Levi puts his arm around her and like feeds an apple like to her, like very sexually, like it's like this. She is my doll. Like, she is my doll essentially. She is my creation.
Yeah.
Which is like very unsettling. Like really, this is like not a character I wish I should like at all.
This is like, so first off, I agree, but it's such a weird departure from like the way that Mikasa was done in the series.
I don't like the child trafficking, but I can go with grooming. It's like a great option.
I think it's like legitimately. So Eren cares more about Mikasa in this movie than he does in the show, because we've seen that Eren is like either oblivious to Mikasa's affection or he just actively dislikes it.
It's oblivious because he does do the same thing. Remember with Hitch, where you're like, oh, I don't see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's more for the oblivious.
But in this, he's like very upset when she's clearly like about to have sex with Levi.
Yeah, and he's probably like, very angry that the girl he probably likes is like this is happening to her. But yeah, then not Annie comes in to quiet him down, and then so they sit down by a campfire with the couple from earlier fucking. Next to
so
them.
there's like one group that's like everyone keeps saying, oh, they're gonna get married.
They're the married
afterward.
couple from the first season, essentially.
Yeah,
the couple.
It's like the lovey-dovey, like they do the easy tragedy, like one of them dies kind of thing.
Yeah, but like they did in the show. But
yeah.
But yeah, and then they start talking. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you said goodbye to the girl. Is she your daughter?" And like you find out, yeah, she's a mom. The joining the military gives them child support, and then she's like,
she's a single mother. Specifically, we don't know about the father.
Me and Jim. This is when Jim sat up.
It was so shocking. This is
amazing.
I think we had to rewind the scene a few times
because like 3 times.
The way it ramps up's insane. So we have like her.
Explain to me the sex scene, Jim.
So Eren and not Annie.
Tell me about the butts.
Are sitting next to each other. There's a butt shot. So they show it several times. So Eren and Annie are like sitting. Not Annie are sitting next to each other, watching the couple, the lovey-dovey couple like start kissing, and then they like start fucking. Like the girl in the couple in front of them has no pants on, and the guy is like over her.
They did the Mormon thing of just
soaking
is leave. Yes, you can't have sex in the military, but it's not sex if you're just soaking it in.
And so Eren is like. Eren's kind of like oblivious. I think he's still distraught about the whole Mikasa thing. But then Annie is like. She talks about being a single mother, and then she undoes her straps.
He shouldn't have, like Jim, she just undid Jim, like, wait, what? And just went back, like she just totally did. And I saw a part like her thing was like I can see skin from her chest, like, oh, she's going to like rip open her thing because you don't have it prepped like that unless you're going to do that.
So she opens up, she takes off her like her whatever straps, and she opens up her blouse, and she makes Eren touch her boob. And we were just like, what the fuck is happening?
And then she goes on him. It's just saying like, what, you don't like single moms? And
yeah, she's like about to fuck Eren.
Jim, like Eren, go for it. This is like the most fascinating timeline where like, imagine the world where Eren fucks and like none of this happens.
His whole reality would change if this boy got pussy.
Like, Eren, fuck Mikasa, get this, go.
And unfortunately, the scene is cut short because there's a big titan right outside that eats her.
Cock blocked.
Yeah, it slurps her up. Slurps her good. This big chunky,
not Annie,
chunky titan. Sad, not Annie.
Jim went through what I went through with Marco, where like she didn't get bitten like she got swallowed whole. She had a chance to come back.
I really thought that they were gonna have a moment inside the stomach because I knew that they were gonna do like the Eren turns to a titan thing.
Yeah,
I really thought they were gonna have a moment where she was still like clinging to life inside the stomach, and then he dies or she dies in front of him.
And this has been our whole action, our final like action set piece essentially.
This is after Eren's been Joker-fied.
Yes, his Harley. His Harley Quinn got taken.
And I mean, there isn't too much to say about this little bit. We have Not Connie has a giant axe.
I love that. I love that he's an axe.
So he targets the Achilles tendon.
Having someone
of the Titan
that is down there that just takes out the Achilles is so cool. I like that.
It's clever. It wouldn't work because like the Titan would easily just like lean down and grab you, but in this, it's like it moves slow enough because like there's people zipping around.
There's noises happening around.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. They do it a lot. Like that's like his thing. He just runs around hitting.
He's
Titans
the muscle.
It is certainly something we never really saw in the series because the one time Sasha tried to use an axe on a Titan, she fucked up.
Yeah.
And she like got like launched out of her hands and stuck on the ceiling.
Yeah. It would kind of cut her around because like
Oh, okay. The one thing. So a lot of action happens, and then the mysterious masked person steals the explosive truck
in front of Hanji.
Yes, and they also throw a Molotov cocktail.
No.
Was that the woman?
It was because as we see, because it cuts around a little bit.
So this couple that we saw fucking earlier,
just like the original show, like the boyfriend gets like cut in half essentially,
and the girlfriend can't accept it.
And Hans is there to just say like you gotta go, like he's dead, and gets her, basically drags her away because Hans is here, and Hans also is sussy in this too, but we'll get there. But he is the new sus squad. There is no sus squad in this.
Yeah, there's not really a sus squad.
But yeah, so Sasha shoots arrows in eyes in her scene. There's like people zip zapping around. Some getting some epic kills with Mikasa and not Levi.
So yeah, they do the whole thing where the girl in the couple, she throws a Molotov cocktail on.
She has a weird truck action scene where she goes in there and just fights the masked guy. Like it's so funny, just to, like
it's really fucking weird.
It's like
and she kicks the masked guy out, and then
like imagine like an arc character in season 3 just having like a fist fight with Reiner and actually like beating him in a fist fight because he gets kicked out of the fucking truck, and like she just has the suicide like driving the truck,
and it's so useless. She kills like 3 Titans with her stupid suicide bomb,
and fucks the mission.
And so that was the whole thing. Like OMG, those were our last explosives. Then things start to hit the fan. Like Eren. Okay, there's a scene where Eren is being taught by Levi during this fight.
No, not even being taught. Levi is just watching from a distance.
He's giving him pointers.
Mentally.
He's like telling him what to do, and Eren's doing it.
He's mentally giving him like he just...
It's really stupid.
Eren thought about the flashback when he told him inside the wet cave with the vitamin D light. And just like just like having a mental like training arc, but he famously gets his leg bitten off again.
It was really dumb.
Because he actually kills a Titan.
He does actually get a Titan kill, which he didn't until way later in the show.
It's like end of season 2, beginning of season 3.
Yeah. So he gets his leg bit off. They do the bearded Titan that goes and is about to eat him, but then it's about to eat Armin, but then Eren saves him. But they have a really great effect where they created like the whole mouth of this Titan, like
the teeth, the tongue.
Physically.
Yeah, the tongue is all wet and gross and everything.
It's like a practical effect, and it's really disgusting, and it looks really good. And like Armin is like sliding down the tongue, like sliding off the tongue. Then Eren does the thing where he like throws him out, and then his arm gets like bit off.
But Armin actually grabs the arm with them, which is very hilarious.
It was very funny. Then also the scene where Eren like slides down the throat into the stomach was really cool.
There's one scene I actually want to talk about featuring Mikasa, because remember she sees Eren like one leg crawling on the roof, and instead of going to help him like the normal Mikasa in the anime would, she just says fuck him and goes off and keeps fighting Titans. She is really cool.
She's an independent female and she doesn't like Eren.
Eren's gonna fuck that single mom. She ain't gonna have that. Milf Hunter Eren Yeager just be the title of the second episode.
She gets fucked every day by Levi. She does not need Eren to...
He feeds her apples.
But so...
Yeah, Eren goes in there. We kind of see the effect of like he's like in like the goop. It's not like as wide as it was in like the anime.
Yeah, it's like, actually scarier because it's more claustrophobic.
He finds not Annie and her face is like a little bit burnt.
Yeah, she's also dead.
I thought like it would have been a really cool image of him coming out of her with like her in her hand. Like would have been really cool.
Yeah, but so they also cut away. So they go back to Mikasa, and they kind of like give Mikasa they almost give her like the arc from episode 4, I think it was.
She joins the roof of characters, and Eren's like, Mikasa, Eren died. Here's his arm, And then she goes has the arc, that weird moment of her going suicide, even though even at one point she didn't give a crap about when Eren was like fucking wounded like on. But
I guess deep down, Sam, she really does care.
I was waiting for her to just like pull out the scarf from her pocket or something and wrap it around her.
But yeah, they do the scene where like she ends up using her gas and then she breaks her swords, and instead of
they don't really make a big deal of the gas at all.
No, they don't really. They don't have time to.
Yeah.
Because that's like a whole like subplot in the Shiganshina
It's also
fight.
a very important thing in like aspect to have in like throughout the series. It's like the gas availability they have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does a famous coming out of the mouth scene.
So it's funny because they actually kind of like flip things around a little bit. So I mentioned the bearded titan. He actually doesn't go inside the bearded titan's mouth. They kill the bearded titan.
It's a flabby titan he's inside.
Yeah, it's a really chunky titan. But in the show, the whole scene with Mikasa is like he and this other titan are approaching on either side of Mikasa. With this, he emerges from this titan next to Mikasa.
Yeah.
So it adds like a little less tension, but the scene is kind of cool because he reaches both his arms through the Titan's throat and like rips his head in half.
It's a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Of just like someone bursting out someone's mouth and just ripping it apart.
And I'm kind of torn. I don't really like
the Green Lightning's weird too.
The Green Lightning is weird. I don't like the way that Eren's suit looks.
I don't like the body design. I said this. It looks like what the Armor Titan would look like.
I wish that they had just done like a really muscular suit actor.
Yeah.
Instead of like Eren, to describe it if you haven't seen it, Eren's suit is like it looks hard. It looks physically like tough.
You remember the guy from Yu Yu Hakusho with the sunglasses, like the
Toga?
Yeah, he when he goes buff and transform. That's what his body texture looks like.
That's actually a really good comparison.
Because
yeah, he has like very large like. It's almost like huge veins or something. He's really muscular, but it looks like he's made of stone.
Yes.
And his face is always like, his mouth's always open. It looks kind of like a dog, and like
his eyes are like hilariously red. Like the eyes look really weird.
Yeah, it's one of like the less good like effects, unfortunately.
But the action that he does when he's just punching titans is really good, though.
Yeah, this scene is really cool because like. It's just really gruesome.
And you actually can do...
This movie is R-rated. Yes, like, there's a lot of gore in this movie.
And you can do a lot of choreography when you have, like, actual actors that you can beat up like that.
And it looks good. Like, the effects look really good in these scenes.
It's surprising.
Some of them do. Like, Eren's suit doesn't, but, like, the actual, like, blood and goop effects look pretty good.
Yes. Like...
watching this movie, I was really appreciating things that you don't see in American blockbusters.
Yes.
Like, the huge sets, the large cast, like... In the first scene in like the not Shiganshina area, there's like hundreds of like extras like running away from the Titans.
The whole like
it's like actually impressive.
The whole church scene, like there's a whole mob they got there for that.
I feel like you see that a lot more in like foreign films where they'll have like hundreds of extras on set in like these large outdoor places, because I feel like in so many Hollywood movies it's like the main cast and like it's really sparse. Everything else is like empty. Probably because they don't want to pay people.
The only extras they have are like background characters when like people are having like food or like they're in a city or something. You have people walking in the background.
And even then you don't see like dozens and dozens of people like stampeding. Like it's legitimately like cool to see like the way the sets and effects look in this
even
movie.
Had the huge group of just people, like all the guys on the cannons and everything. They had like a bunch more people than you thought there would be. I think they just showed like one or two cannons, but they had like a whole like people like set up like on like 5 people on the cannon, which is like probably what you would have.
There were even a lot of like Titans in some shots too, which would have been like a lot of effects work.
A lot of different suit actors also like.
Yeah, I wonder. I would love to see behind the scenes of this. Like, I wonder if they filmed a lot of the Titan people together, or if they all filmed them separately so they could like composite them.
I can see it depending on the scenes maybe.
Because a lot of like, there's a few times where we see Titans that are like 7 feet tall with Titans that are like 40 feet tall, and it looks really funny.
Steps on another Titan and kills it, which is pretty cool.
I always love seeing that. That's funny.
But yeah, Eren does a lot of just punching. But so instead of like, because they did a thing where somehow Mikasa just knows it's Eren.
Yeah.
Because Armin doesn't point out which Titan did it or like anything, but Eren just comes out of it and she just knows it's Eren just because, I guess, friendship. But where like no one knew what the fuck was going on in the original show until Eren came out of it. After he was like half eaten essentially.
Yeah. I think Mikasa kind of had like an inkling.
I guess.
When she looked at it, I think she might have said Eren.
But Eren does the thing where he looks at her, grabs her, and then just like King Kong,
he just puts her down. Yeah, it was like stupid.
And then We were like, okay, I hope the coming out animation looks good, and it did not, because he looked like in a fucking green, like, or a pink, like, scoop suit.
It was like a mucus ball,
I'm like, you could have just had
like a
him just like,
membrane.
it's like, you would have saved money just doing like him just like halfway in something, like a little like set you made or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I can see that it would have been probably pretty hard to do.
Or just have a bunch of steam come out underneath so you don't have to show too much, just have him like...
It would have been a less is more thing if they'd done that.
Put the mucus things like it's like a strand like on his face or whatever, just like coming downwards to show it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no movie maker, but I thought that it looked pretty dumb.
It did look really bad and dumb. And that's basically,
and it kind of just ends like
Yeah.
instant. Like I think it shows Eren's like eye turn red, and then like the big
oh my
words
God, that was
"Attack
so
on Titan."
funny, like the Michael and like Thriller.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the Attack on Titan movie, and then
Yeah.
shortly after we saw a fucking trailer for the next movie.
Yeah, then we're gonna see the trial.
Like before I could even, because in most of the time in Japanese movies, I've noticed that, well, maybe it's just anime, but a lot of times they will have like after credit sequences, especially in like franchise anime series. They always have fucking stinger. This one they didn't have to wait until the end. They just showed you the fucking trailer for the next movie.
I have a decent bunch of trivia for this, so.
All right, read that IMDb list.
Yeah, so the movie was filmed on an abandoned mining island, which I do get that a little bit from, like, I guess some of the sets, like the factory and everything.
Oh, we didn't really talk about it, but like all of the architecture is like weird concrete. It looks like bombed out city.
Yeah.
I really disliked those sets
They'd
because
rather
it didn't feel like appropriate for the
Yeah,
world.
like, oh, you do 3D maneuver gear on that than on, like, you know, old houses.
Yeah, also it just introduced so much gray into the movie, and
Yeah.
like it just, there was already too much gray. Like they should have like done something else.
They wanted to use that factory. The director was originally going to kill off most of the main characters as an ending, but changed his mind when the manga became popular.
Wait, this movie wasn't made because the manga was popular? That's
As-
insane.
Could have been a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Season 1 had already finished airing
I mean,
when this
maybe
movie
me-
came out.
I don't know, man. I'm just reading the trivia here.
Crazy. These are insane
The
people.
Cloud of Titan depicted in the manga and the anime series is known as being 60 meters tall, and this is doubled and 120 meters tall.
That's really big.
The writer of the manga was going to have trees protect the city and not the wall, but later decided that a big wall is better than a thick tree line.
Huh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's not a movie trivia, IMDb.
Yeah, it's not really movie trivia. That feels like someone made that up.
Okay, so this is actually interesting. Several character personalities have been changed due to the writer's request, such as Eren becoming scared of the Titans and is paralyzed in fear when he first sees one instead of having the I must kill them all attitude in the anime/manga. Mikasa's romantic interest in Eren is shown to a greater degree.
I would disagree with that.
I disagree with that too.
I'd say that it is for a moment.
Sony Pictures has registered 8 Attack on Titan domain names in the US.
That's barely trivia.
Okay, here's one about the uniforms.
Okay.
The uniforms have been changed from the manga and anime. No longer does the military issue the half jacket and slacks. Now each branch has a distinct uniform. The garrison resembles World War II Japanese military uniforms, and the military police wear
Okay.
black leather trench coats. Scouts retain the original design, and training corps have been dissolved.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought the garrison, in particular, those costumes looked the worst. They looked the most like bad cosplay. And I also got the vibe too. I was like, these feel like they're supposed to be like Imperial Japan or something.
Yeah. The song Mikasa played was The End of the World by Skeeter Davis on the piano.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Who cares? Main series most popular characters have been replaced or removed in the movies, such as Levi, who has been replaced by Shikishima, and Commander Erwin, who is missing. Which is also a bad idea.
It's insane. I still cannot get over the fact that they did not have like Levi in this movie.
Hanji's the only rep, really, at like the higher ups.
Yeah.
In the anime and manga, Mikasa was the only character that was Japanese. Many of the characters was mostly German, and the rest of the characters were from other parts of Europe or America, with the exception of one character. In the film, the character nationalities were changed, obviously. Thank you for that fact. That was very obvious.
So out of all the characters, there's only like 6 that are actually from the source material. It's like the main 3, Sasha,
Hanji.
Jean, and Hanji.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
which is crazy.
Hans is... Oh, yeah.
He's not. He's not though. Hannes.
Yeah, he's not Hannes. He's just for the equipment. But also that weird thing of him knowing about the Eren Titan form. It's weird.
Well, he says he seems to know.
He seems to know Eren's in there, and like... tell
Yeah.
him that
He
he's
talks
before
about
he
like we need to cut him out before he fuses in the Titan, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
First off, we also don't know why Eren has his powers, which is very much like season
There's
1.
no mention of his father, but we saw syringes in the teaser.
The teaser for part 2, which I guess we're gonna watch.
Yeah, like I said, one thing, that most Titans were played by actors in makeup with some CGI in there.
Yeah, I really like I thought the fucking Titan effects looked really good. As also, it's such a novelty to see this kind of effect done.
Yeah.
Because like American studios don't do this kind of thing.
Nah. Hanji is played as a female, but goes by a male name. We talked about that a little bit.
That's interesting because in like the anime and manga, like they go to like extensive things to not use any pronouns for Hanji. But I feel like Hanji's name doesn't, to me, because her name's Zoe, right?
It's Hanji Zoe.
So yeah, I don't know. Unless your first name's Hanji, I don't know. Whatever.
So, Attack on Titan author
Ishiyama
was actually the one who suggested all the changes that were made to the characters and story. And said, when I read the first draft, it still incorporated elements of the source material, but I felt like the creative aspect was missing, so I suggested that it would be better to remove those elements.
That's honestly really interesting.
Yes.
That's why I think it kind of works, because it's like, clearly he was just like, yeah, just fucking spice it up a little bit.
I like
it's also not good,
I saw the teasers, I was like, Hanji uses 2 rocket launchers. I'm like, yes, we saw that trailer at the end. But, anything else? Yeah, Hanji leads the scout regiment, and Shikishima has a love interest, which means Mikasa, so...
Alright. That's enough reading. Yeah, I mean, it was totally a movie. I watched it.
Oh wait, I got one more. Remember how he did the sumo throw on the essentially? He said it's presumed to be a more comical scene and not to be taken too seriously, but it's kind of like a fucking ridiculous scene.
When you have a scene where someone is rescuing someone from dying, it's almost hard to make that like comical. And
yeah,
at least not a little bit.
It was comical if like something else caused the Titan to fall and not him throwing it. Cause like really we thought
it's too silly.
It was going to be like him being rescued by like someone like Levi or Mikasa killing the Titan while he was like grabbing it.
Yeah, that was dumb.
But overall, your final thoughts of part 1?
I wouldn't really recommend it unless you were like, if you're like an Attack on Titan completionist and you really just want more. It's a very interesting version of the series.
If you have a group of friends that like Attack on Titan, it's a good group watch to enjoy, I say. It has some good. It's not entirely bad. It's not like it's not like
Cowboy Bebop.
It's not the Full Metal Alchemist live action.
Yeah,
where the changes were like baffling.
There you could certainly do a lot worse, I would have to say.
And didn't look nearly as cheap cosplay as that movie did.
This actually might be the best live action anime adaptation I've ever seen.
Really?
I think it is. Except if we go by manga, then I would say Old Boy. Old Boy is just the easy right answer.
Well, we're talking about more like the shonen like stuff, the more not as realistic stuff, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
There's a Live Die Repeat.
That was technically a novel first, I think. I would say that that's a pretty good adaptation.
Better than the JoJo live action.
Oh, this is way better than the JoJo live action. The JoJo live action was like free. It was like really sad. It made me like depressed and mad and confused. I hated it. This one, it like at least. So Sam and I were watching this movie. The movie's like an hour and a half long. We're like, okay, how far are we? Over an hour into the movie, we're like, oh my god, this felt like 20 minutes.
It really.
If a movie feels quick, it's always good.
Because the only thing when people talk about live action anime, the only one I hear them talk about is the Rurouni Kenshin movie. They did a live action Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, I've heard people say that too.
But it's kind of hard to read or watch that now, knowing about the author, and I don't want to give him anything.
I always just think of that. Every time I hear about that series, I always think of that.
I would watch the Gintama one, because I think Gintama is like a thing that could like be a parody and just like, work like that.
What's his face? The anime man, Joey.
Sure.
He said that he like loves those movies. He says they're like really funny. He did like a whole like tier list where he watched like every live action anime movie.
I think we should do a tier list at the very end of Attack on Titan and put a tier list of like the seasons and
and also the movie
OVA collections.
OVA collection. That's a good idea. That'd be funny.
Maybe for a stream.
Yeah, we should do that.
But
that'd be fun. I'd like that.
But yeah, I say it's one of those good bad watches.
Like, yeah, it was a fun good bad. It was definitely a good bad movie.
I say definitely say if you do a group watch, it's the best way to watch this.
Yeah.
So, any other clothing thoughts?
Clothing thoughts. Well, I thought that the scout uniforms looked the best. No, that's it really. I mean, it was a movie. I watched it. It felt quicker. As I said, if a movie feels quick, it's good.
Does this make you want to watch part 2?
Honestly, I'm going to be really honest, kind of no. I think I've extracted all the enjoyment that I can out of a live action Attack on Titan. After seeing, because for me, the things that I care more about, I want to see the other Titan shifters. I want to see the warriors. Like, that's what I care about. And I know we're gonna see like one.
How they possibly explain all this lore stuff that's like explains everything.
I'm sure it'll be bad and annoying.
Like,
I just don't need to spend more time with this.
That's how I feel. I want to see what else they can do. Can I get more sex in my Attack on Titan?
I would like if they had more sex in the sequel. I feel like they wouldn't.
Eren sits in the closet while Mikasa and Levi like fuck in front.
Eren being like a spurred
or him chained up watching them make out in front of him.
That would be really fucking funny.
Oh man!
All right,
I want to watch the second one, but we're gonna have to wait for that.
Yeah, we'll do that eventually. Maybe when we finish season 4.
Yeah, part 1.
Part 1.
Just like we finished Attack on Titan live action part 1, we have to finish Attack on Titan final season part 1, and then we can do another movie Monday.
This is the reward. Then when we finish the series, we'll finally watch Attack on Titan Junior High to really complete everything.
Well, not all. We'll watch like the first episode, but.
No, we're gonna watch the whole thing.
We'll do
what if you love it?
We'll do the old Neon Cast 3 episodes and then talk about it.
What if you love it though? What if you're watching it and you're like, this is funnier than Kono? Wow. What's the Konosuba shitty?
Oh, Isekai Quartet.
Isekai Quartet.
I highly doubt that. They got like I can't imagine all this like Holocaust, like horrible like oppression stuff like in this middle school show.
Well, that was before they really dove deep into the Holocaust stuff.
Like I have to see what time period this show was like. What season it was made like after season 1.
I think it was made like, I don't know. I think it was made after like probably
between season 1 and 2.
It may have been actually.
That should be interesting.
I don't know.
That's gonna be interesting though. But yeah, I guess it was time to, Jim. We can blow the missile up to clog the hole for this. You died a little bit inside.
So actually, the entirety of the Attack on Titan Junior High manga series, was made before season 2 happened.
Boy!
We're
so all the jokes are gonna be like Annie, like not like being the Titan.
Look how cute Annie is in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the gags of. Oops, I'm the Titan, but I can't tell anybody.
Looking at this makes me like upset.
This is your pick.
This is my pick.
I got my satisfaction.
Why would they do this? I feel like this is one of those things where like he drew it because I knew Ishiyama would draw a lot of like little joke scenes. Like remember the one OVA where they all turn into Titans and like Historia becomes a Titan and like there's like one gag that was apparently like he drew people are asking like what would the characters look like if they turned into Titans, so he just drew like all the cast as Titans.
It's like something
as a joke.
It's something like Oda would do for like One Piece where he has a question, just like answers it or just draws something to like this is how it would look.
A little like question answer section.
This is how a female Luffy would look.
All right, let's wrap this up. I can feel my throat. The vocal fry.
We were pogging too much, man.
It's true.
The Hanji Pog.
Hanji Pog.
But
okay, sorry. The Attack on Titan Junior High show did come out in 2015, which would have been
same year as the movie.
2 years before season 2 started.
Oh boy. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to this. Again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that great stuff. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and me and Jim separately. And you can also join our Discord. And that is all the rubble that finally landed on the hole to make a slightly shorter wall.
We didn't quite plug the hole. We just made the wall a little shorter.
That's all we need to do.
Hopefully the Titans don't just like climb up.
Well,
the big like mound of dirt we've made now.
Just everybody get excited for when we do part 2 on Movie Monday.
On Movie Monday.
And then after that it'll be Middle School Monday.
Middle School Monday.
We'll see you then.
See you then.